Okay, we have to show that this whole thing can be written in the form ax plus b over cx plus d, where a, b, c and d are integers. Okay, so let's have a look at this thing. How on earth are we going to convert that into that? Well, we have a quadratic on the top. That means something in the form x squared plus an x plus a number, and a quadratic on the bottom. What we're going to have to do is factorize. We're going to factorize the top, factorize the bottom, so we get something in this form here. Okay, when we factorize the top, we're going to get two brackets. There'll be something in there, and the same in the bottom, something in there, something in there. And every time with questions like this, two of these brackets will cancel. I guarantee it. Every single time. They set it up like that, so you get this satisfying cancellation of these two brackets because they're the same, and you're left with something like this, which will look just like that. Okay? So, let's factorize the top. What have we got? 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. Now, you probably hate factorizing, and I don't blame you. It can be difficult. However, I'm going to show you a method now that's really pretty good, and we'll get the answer pretty quickly, even when there's a number in front of the x squared here. The bottom one is much simpler because there's no number in front of the x squared, but there is here, so this is a difficult one. But no problem, because what we're going to do is the so-called crisscross method. Okay, it's really good. Watch this. You draw a cross underneath like that. And here, you write two numbers that multiply together to give that number. Well, the only possible two numbers are 2 and 1. Okay? And the same here with that number. Don't worry about the sign yet. Okay? Just look at the 5. Which two numbers multiply together to give 5? It's got to be 5 and 1. Okay? Now what you do, you multiply down the cross, if you like, that number by that number. 2 times 1 is 2, and the same this way. 1 times 5 is 5. And now you ask yourself, can I make these two numbers plus or minus such that we get this number here? The number in the middle. Yes, we can. If we do minus 5 and plus 2, we get minus 3, because minus 5 plus 2 is minus 3. Which means, just bring the minus to here, and that plus to there. We've done it. What we do now, you read across. And the first bracket is that number, 2, then the x, then this number, minus 5. And the second bracket is reading across here. 1x, I'm not going to bother with the 1, it's just x, plus 1. Boom, we've done it. The crisscross method is really good. Learn it and practice it. Let's just check we've got it right. Let's multiply that out, okay? 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. Minus 5 times x is minus 5x. Minus 5 times 1 is minus 5. That equals 2x squared plus 2x minus 5x is minus 3x minus 5. 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. It's correct. So, that's the crisscross method. It's really good. Right, so we factorized the top. Let's do the same thing with the bottom. Okay, the bottom is x squared plus 6x plus 5. Okay, you can use the crisscross method with quadratics that don't have a number there. That's fine. Or you can just do this one in your head probably, because it's quite a simple one. Let's do both methods, why not? Let's do it in our heads first. Okay, I'll do it over here. So I'm going to do the crisscross here. So, there's no number there, so it has to be x and x. Everything's positive, which makes life easy, so that must be plus. Okay, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give the 5 and add to give the 6. It's 1 and 5, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so not that challenging, but let's do the crisscross method anyway, why not? So, crisscross method. That's a 1 there, 1x squared. It has to be 1 and 1. They're the only two numbers that multiply to give 1, the only two integers. We're dealing with integers here. Okay, 5, again, the only two integers that multiply to give 5 are 5 and 1. So, oh yeah, I should just say, we got lucky first time here. We could have written the 5 down there and the 1 here, in which case these numbers wouldn't have worked. We'd have got 10, 2 times 5, and 1. And you can't do plus or minus 10 and 1. You can't combine them to get minus 3. If your first attempt doesn't work, do it again. And just swap these numbers around. Leave these alone for your second attempt and just swap these two around and see what happens. Anyway, so there's a little bit of trial and error involved in the crisscross method, but there's lots of different ways of factorising quadratics. This is my favourite. I think it's the best. Okay, where were we? Right. So, yes. Right. Everything's positive. Can we combine 5 and 1 in such a way? No, we have to multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Right. Now, can we combine 5 and 1 in such a way to get 6? Yes. Plus 5 and plus 1. Move the signs over. So the answer is 1x, read across this time, plus 5. 1x plus 1. It's the same. Okay, so we factorise the top and the bottom. So that expression becomes this. It becomes 2x minus 5 times x plus 1, because that's the top, and the bottom is x plus 5 times x plus 1. X plus 1. Right, so we've got it in this form. Okay, and as promised, two of the brackets are the same every time. So we can cancel them. So the final answer is 2x minus 5 over x plus 5. So that whole big thing there is exactly the same as that. And now we've got it in this form that they wanted. Okay, it's ax plus b, cx plus d. So, well, that's the final solution. So a is 2ax, b is minus 5, c is 1 because it's 1x, and d is 5. There you go.